Hey, what's going on, guys? Fully here from Custom Offsets TV on the YouTube, and today we are bringing you the Toyo tire lineup. Now, the tires that I have here, obviously this isn't a representative of every single tire that Toyo makes, but they are some of the more popular ones that we see people buying on the CustomOffsets.com website. So we're going to kind of start over here and go from the least aggressive all the way up to the most aggressive, explain the benefits and features of each one, and introduce you guys a new tire that you probably haven't heard of before, the Toyo Open Country CT. We'll dig into that later. So starting then on the far right, this is the Toyo Proxes ST. So there's a couple different variations of the Proxy. This is the ST, just keep that in mind. So what you'll see here is this is a directional tire, meaning that it's made to be mounted in a certain direction. You can see the V pattern here. It's got some really deep siping in the middle, and then there's just a lot of rubber here. So this is gonna be, more of a sticky tire, something that's gonna get you good grip in the summer, but not necessarily in the rain, and definitely not something that you'd want to run in the winter, just because how wide this tread pattern is. Basically, there's very small separation in the blocks of tread that you do see. There is some siping, but no zigzag patterns or anything like that. It's very directional, very much so this just V pattern, which is very evident for you to see. So again, something that is going to be like a summer performance tire, not something that you're going to run in inclement weather. They do make this in a variety of sizes. You're going to see it in metric sizes. This particular one is a 305/50 R20. They also make it for a 22, so if you're looking for a lower profile street tire for like a lowered truck, or if you're going for that street truck look or the race truck look I've had people call it before, this is going to be something that you're going to want to look into. There are some people that are stretching this tire. Obviously we can't recommend stretching for legal purposes, but I've seen people do it, so that is that. This is a 420 tread wear, so that means obviously on the scale, the lower the number, the stickier it is. So this is a 420, just so you keep that in mind. Also with this tire, there is no warranty, and that's because you guys are just gonna do burnouts on it, so they can't give you warranty. Moving to the next one, this is the Toyo Open Country AT2. So this is a super popular tire. You've seen this on a ton of vehicles, and that's because you get really good mileage out of this. So this actually has a 65,000 mile warranty, which is crazy because that is a ton of miles to put on a tire. You'll see it is a relatively aggressive tread pattern, but again, nothing super spread out. So they just leave space in here that if you were to pick up rocks, they're gonna get evacuated, they're gonna get thrown out. And if you're driving it through the snow, you won't have anything packing in here, filling in all these spaces to turn this basically into a slick. You will notice that the siping here is in a Z pattern. So typically when you see that, that's something that's gonna be better for inclement weather or for use in snow. So this tire is actually pretty good all season. Now, general rule of thumb with me personally, if it's a good all season, that means it's not great in any season. But if you're looking for an all-around tire that's going to get you the best performance in each season, but not be particularly good at one, this is going to be a good tire for you. This is a good OEM replacement too. If you're not looking for something crazy big, you can always go with this to replace the tires on your stock vehicle as well. Moving to this one, this is the Toyo Open Country CT. Now, this is one that a lot of people probably haven't heard of. It's not necessarily new to the market, but there's just not as many people running it, and it actually comes as kind of a surprise to me because I think snow tires are super important. So that's what the CT is. This is specifically designed to be used in snow. So our friends up in Canada, or the people that live where we live in Wisconsin, where we get crazy winters, or even upstate New York, Maine, those people that get crazy winters, this might be a tire that you want to look into, whether it be something that you swap out and only use for part of the season, or if you live in a really snowy environment, this might be something that you want to look at. So you'll see again, it has those really big Z patterns, so it pulls some of the styling from here, also uses them on the CT, and again, tread is separated a pretty decent amount so that you do have plenty of evacuation for snow, rocks, mud, anything that's getting in there, but it's not quite as aggressive as some of these tires up here, which we'll dive into later. So you will notice that on this tire too, there's these circles, and if you are unfamiliar with what that is, those are basically pre-drilled holes for studs. So you are able to put studs into these tires if you live in a place where they allow that. I know here in Wisconsin they don't allow studded tires, so we can't run those, but there are plenty of places that do allow that. Or if you're gonna go ice race your truck or something like Banker did, you can do these. So something to keep in mind then if you're looking at the Open Country CT is that there is no mileage warranty, but they do still offer obviously the manufacturer warranty, so any defects or anything like that, they're gonna get you taken care of. Moving to the Toyo Open Country RT, I would say this is probably by far the most popular tire that we sell from Toyo. And what they've done here is they basically take a mix of your AT and your MT, and they make this hybrid tire, the RT. This is a 33 12.5, and as you can see, as you get more and more aggressive, they leave more and more space between the lugs so that if you are going through mud or rough terrain or you're in a low traction environment, this tire will allow everything to basically not get stuck in here and again create that slick tire so it all gets thrown out of there. The sidewall is pretty straight up and down. There's no like extended tread over onto the sidewall that you'll see, but overall just a really good tire. This also does have a 45,000 mile warranty, which is something that you don't see from a lot of these more aggressive tires. So if you're looking for something that you get decent mileage out of, it's not super loud, but you still get that aggressive look, the RT is going to be the tire for you. If you want to go more aggressive than that, this is a Toyo Open Country MT. And while there is no mileage warranty on this one, it's the same thing. They do have a manufacturer's warranty against defects and whatnot. So this has the most spread apart tread pattern. You can see it's big, chunky blocks of rubber on this. And again, huge gaps between there. So any rocks or whatnot are all going to get flung out and they're not going to be staying in this tire. As far as siping goes, again, these are pretty straight cuts now. You kind of go away from the Z cut that you saw in the previous tires. So not the greatest in the snow or the greatest in the rain, but a lot of people aren't using these really in a mud or low traction environment anyway, because half the people that run them are running them on just a truck that they daily drive. So you will notice these are a little bit louder, and that's because of these big gaps, but nothing too crazy. It's not like running the Nitto mud grapplers, and Nitto and Toyo are basically like this. So if you need something more aggressive than this, you'd have to go to the Nitto brand to get the mud grapplers. But this is still a pretty decent tire. You will notice on the sidewall, it's more aggressive than any of the other tires that you saw previously today. And it does have what they call, I think, over-the-shoulder protection. So the tread basically extends over to the side a little bit, and you do get some side lugs. So if you're going through rocks or anything like that, you don't end up banging up your wheels unless you're stretching these too. So these side lugs are also designed so that if you were going through any deep mud or anything like that, you still get some forward momentum because they're able to kind of push you through that if you're not getting any grip from the main section of tread here. So before I took down the entire setup, I did want to show you two things comparing these tires. So this is the Open Country MT and this is the Open Country AT2. This is a big deal because although these tires are both the same size, they're not the same size. So what I mean by that is this tire, as you can probably tell on camera, is actually a little bit smaller than the MT. So this plays a big role in your fitment because there might be somebody out there with, say, a 6-inch lift and they're running the 35 12.5 and it says it fits, and then you put on your 35 12.5 and you run into major problems with rubbing and trimming. So the Open Country AT2, 35 by 12.5. If you actually go and measure it out, which I just did, it measures about 34 tall. If you measure this one out, it actually measures bigger than the AT, and it's about 34.5 inches, give or take. It all depends. Once you get these inflated, you will notice that the inflated size is probably a little bit different also. So obviously these aren't mounted and they don't have air in them. So you'll see that there is a little bit of a crown when you inflate these, and that's going to get you that 35 basically on the dot. This one obviously will probably come up about the same ½ an inch, but still won't be quite 35 tall. For the width, it's basically also the same kind of story. If I just kind of eyeball it to the widest point, this one measures out exactly 12.5 inches, just like you'd expect. The AT, however, if you measure widest point to widest point, just eyeballing it, it's about 12 inches. So it does fall a little bit short there. And now that's not something that's bad, and that's not Toyo misrepresenting. It's just how tires are made. You're not going to find tires that are the exact dimensions of what they say they are. So just something to keep in mind too, that these, although they're the same size, they're not the same size. So that basically rounds out the popular tires that we offer from Toyo. If you want to see more of them, you can check out any of the tires we have on customoffsets.com. We have a bajillion brands. Bajillion is a real number. You'll want to look into that. So whether it's Toyos or anything else, check us out, customoffsets.com.